everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing The Toxic Avenger. This film is written and directed by Macon Blair and stars Peter Dinklage, Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood. This is a reworking of the 1984 superhero movie released by Troma films. Now you would think it's 2025, they would be able to improve on the schlock value of that 1984 movie, but it doesn't exactly play out that way. That movie was even more comical in tone, more over the top, and for some reason it came across more fun. This movie presents its content with a bit more of a depressing tone, and for that reason some of the fun is removed and it just runs out of gas. Now let me set up the premise of this film. We have Peter Dinklage playing Winston. He's a downtrodden janitor with some terminal health issues. And after an unexpected accident, he becomes a mutant with superhero strength, aka the Toxic Avenger. Now it's a far-fetched setup, but this movie pulls no punches and doesn't hold back. The whole idea of this film is to splash as much excessive gore and vulgarities on the screen and do it with a certain panache that is meant to be fun. Now, this isn't the type of film that you go to if you're seeking Oscar material, but Peter Dinklage is a pretty serviceable actor, and his reputation over the last 15 years or so has really grown and grown. He's gone from strength to strength as an actor, and there is a spot for him in the marketplace. So Dinklage slipping into a bizarre IP like The Toxic Avenger seems like a good fit, but is it? Well, this movie treads a fine line. You are enjoying it sometimes. It is a little bit suspenseful, it is intriguing, but then other times it's just outrageously gross and a bit of a turn-off. Now, due to its 1984 source material, this movie is not going to play it safe. It's excessively violent, it's vulgar, it's irreverent, it goes for the jugular at times, but at the same time it's meant to present a slice of fun and escapism. It's meant to be cartoonish, over the top, and in your face. Now this film is certainly that, but it does overstep the line at times and can very easily turn people off. Now, The Toxic Avenger is not a movie for everyone. This is really a movie for cineasts who are willing to take a gamble on a slice of alternative pop culture. If you're into horror movies, fantasy movies, superhero movies, you should get a kick out of some of the material, but can it withstand its running time? I felt at 103 minutes it outstayed its welcome. I think it would have worked better at 85 or 90. I think after a while it does tend to get a little sluggish, but the early work there at the start with Peter Dinklage in the first 40 minutes or so, the setup, it is engaging, it does get you in because Dinklage is a rather intriguing man. But aside from Dinklage, this film does have a cavalcade of interesting supporting actors. We get Jacob Tremblay as Dinklage's stepson, and they have a pretty murky relationship. They just cannot connect. But as the film goes along, it does try to repair that relationship and bring father and son together. And it is that awkward family dynamic that does keep things afloat in the background while that excessive gore plays out and almost overshadows the narrative. Now, Kevin Bacon is also in this film playing the slimy CEO of the chemical plant that Dinklage works at. He's a really nasty piece of work. But Bacon seems to slip into these slimy roles effortlessly. I mean, he really changed the trajectory of his career back in the early 90s when he took on a rather indifferent role in JFK, and then he took things a little bit further with The River Wild, playing that bad guy opposite Meryl Streep. So he likes to take chances, and Bacon seems to excel in these smaller little supporting roles. He actually played a slime ball like this in Super, which was one of James Gunn's early movies. And this is once again Bacon taking a chance on a movie that has cult appeal and schlock value. And he seems to gravitate to this weird material from time to time, and he manages to sink his teeth into it with aplomb, but his performance is hampered a little bit by an inferior script. So if the script was a little bit better, I think Bacon would have been able to step out of this one a little less unscathed. Now, playing Bacon's ghoulish brother and right-hand man is Elijah Wood, and he's another actor that loves indulging in quirky roles, and this one he presents as a really ghoulish fiend. We don't always get to explore a lot of scenes with him, but he's very creepy, and I would say that his performance in this and his look is very comparable to Danny DeVito in Tim Burton's Batman Returns. Also appearing in the film is Taylor Page, who last year co-starred as Eddie Murphy's daughter in Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Now, she plays an investigative reporter in this that is trying to crack down on Bacon's chemical plant. She has some pretty damning evidence on Bacon. She wants to release it, and she wants to bring down his enterprise. I would have to say that overall the performances aren't too bad for this type of splatter material. So if you choose to see a movie like The Toxic Avenger, please be aware this is not your typical superhero movie. It's loud, it's grotesque, it's excessively violent, it's vulgar. There's a lot of dirty jokes in this, so it goes to places that you may not be prepared for, and there is some big, grandiose, over-the-top splatter moments, but they just wash over the screen and you tire of them very quickly. So some things work, others don't, but the cast will keep you watching, and that's a plus. You don't expect people like Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood, and Peter Dinklage to wind up in something like this, but that added push of star power does make it watchable. So yeah, they've tried to make a Troma film with a bit more polish, but it gets a bit lost along the way. Now, for those of you that are looking for a little bit more commentary on The Toxic Avenger, I do have a couple of stories to tell, and I will tell them in an alternate video called My Cinema Experience. So if you want more on The Toxic Avenger, I will get that video on the channel very soon. So that's my take on The Toxic Avenger. You have been warned. It's up to you whether you want to take the chance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon.